in order to truly go after a goal, you have to believe it with all of your heart that it will happen, and also know full well it might not, and you've still got to go on after that.
Okay, so you were talking about how people have in trail running have potential more success, or they're able to enjoy it a little bit more because they don't have that like grind mentality. Some of them do. Some of the pros and elites certainly do. I've joked, we've talked a lot about trail running and your trail running and you wanting to do more of it. Have you thought about just like saying, fuck it, I'm going to go to the trails and see if the knees are happier?
No, so this is the thing is I love trail running and I love it as a component of my training. I think there will be a time when I'm ready to transition fully to trail running down the line. Right now, and I've thought about it a lot more over this last year. I think for a while I had considered that more. And this is not a knock against trail running. I respect trail running very much. But I think for me, it came out of a place of fear of being like, man, like I don't know if I can do marathoning and track anymore, or marathoning at this level, because I know what I had to do to get that medal. And I can't do that ever again. I can't put myself back in that place.
So why not? What?
Because I don't want to be fucking throwing up the night before the Olympic marathon anymore. And because I know what comes on the other side of that. I know the destruction it does on my body. I know the mental place it puts me in. And I know how long it takes to come out of that. It has taken me 3 years to come out of that hole that I dug myself into to get that medal. And I felt a bit like I had to toss my entire self into the black hole to make that thing happen. And maybe that's it, is I feel like a lot of what I want to do over the next 4 years, because I do truly believe if I'm healthy, I am a medal contender in LA. And I feel like I finally am like willing to have the self-confidence to like say that and not beat around the bush of like, I just want to see how good I can be. It's like, I know how good I can be. The scary part is trusting that I can do this in a different way than I've done it before and still be good. And that I can do it in a way that respects my body and still be good. It's scary because I had a lot of success doing this in a very unhealthy way. And it's hard to reinvent the wheel.
My friend Tansy has this metaphor that having a goal is like holding an egg in your hand. And the tighter you squeeze, the more likely you are to crack the egg. How do you approach LA holding that? This is a weird hand motion. How do you approach LA like gripping the egg, but not too hard?
I think I would say you need to hold your goals closely, but loosely, of like, there is not a day that goes by that I don't think about it. Honestly, like that just is how my brain is tuned.
But that's what enables people to hit those goals, right?
It's a blessing and a curse, because it's like, it's a kind of thing where I can't, like these last 9 months, every single day, I have thought about this. I'm always thinking about, how do I get healthy? How do I be better? How do I make this goal happen? But also realizing in full reality, it might not. And that's just life. Like, I think it's that you have to approach these things and being like, I am pouring my soul into this goal with the full knowledge. There's a very good likelihood it will absolutely break my heart and shatter me. But I think that is kind of what it means to be human, that it's like you, in order to truly go after a goal, you have to believe it with all of your heart that it will happen, and also know full well it might not, and you've still got to go on after that.
How do you do that? How do you keep it at arm's length and also think of the short term of like, you simply have to like get back to running to back to it?
I think the hard part is it is like wrestling with the reality of the now. Like that was the hardest thing. Like right after the surgery, I couldn't walk 200 meters down the street. Like I did the appendix. Yeah. I did a 200-meter walk. And then I legitimately had to go lay down for an hour because it was so physically exhausting and hard. And it's so difficult to be in that really, really humbling place, even now, where it's like, it's hard going out and being like, okay, like the goal is to try and run 3 to 4 miles today. And it's like, how do you bridge that gap between running 3 to 4 miles at the slowest pace of your fucking life?
You've done some very slow running.
I have done some very slow running.
The world record?
Yes, I have some sort of record in the slow mile.
Turkey or something.
But in all honesty, like it's a huge hit to the ego. And like, I get embarrassed sometimes where it's like when I'm coming back from injury and people see me out running when it's like, yeah, that's not what I'm hoping to be. I'm hoping to be able to run 26 miles, 26.2 miles with the best in the world. It's being able every day to be okay in the reality that you're in and be like, I'm going to do the best thing for my body today, even if that means not running. And also hold it like this like burning desire in my heart, knowing like everything I am doing is for 4 years from now.
Why the burning desire? Where does that come from?
I don't know. It's always been there. It is something that I can't explain. And I don't know if that like, I don't see myself as that talented of an athlete sometimes. I don't see myself as like having any one specific like natural talent. I think the one thing that I really do have is like,
you work harder than anyone else.
No, not even that. Because I think that's a lie because it's like, I know a lot of people that work a lot harder than me. A lot of people worked a lot harder than me before trials, but I feel like it's like in my soul, like I can't quit this sport. There have been a lot of times that it would be very, very easy to quit. I can't. I will keep doing this even when there's no hope left, like, because I do just love it. I feel like if I'm doing it in a way where my goals and my body are aligned, I love this more than anything in the world.
So how do you stay connected to the sport while not able to compete? Like we're here, this is Boulderthon weekend. Puma flew you out here. We've got, what do we have? Drinks tonight and shakeout run tomorrow, a panel tomorrow, all that stuff. Like, is this the kind of stuff that keeps you in it?
Honestly, like I feel like it's that it's remembering that running is so much broader than just the very myopic world that I live in, this very small piece of it. And I think I actually gain a lot of inspiration from it because I think being able to learn from other runners, like just see how different people approach the sport and how they manage it. I think there are a lot of ways that I can still learn a lot about the sport. And I know that sounds silly sometimes to say, like as an Olympic medalist, that it's like there are so many things that I still have to figure out about running. And I think being in touch with the broader world of what running is does that for me.
So I've seen you in Boston and San Francisco so far this year, I think. And what is really cool is that, okay, now we're 4 years after or 3 years after Tokyo, and people are still just as stoked to meet you as they were in September of 2021.
That's what I'm still amazed by sometimes. I'm like,
what does that mean to you?
I think that shows me just the impact of what running can be and what racing is. And I like, honestly, what I hope to be in this sport. Like, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's that old cliche that it's like people will forget what you do, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And I think for a lot of people, at least from when I talk to people about them, like people that watched that race, I think it made people feel a really specific way, like, and a certain pride in like what it means to be a runner, like an American runner, all these things. And so I don't know. I think it's that I really try to channel that energy of just being like, yeah, like at the end of the day, these things are bigger than just about getting to put medals on my shelf. It's about like, who are you inspiring out of this? Like, I know that sounds so cheesy. Somebody's probably listening to this being like, you bitch. Like, but I do think that's...
I don't think they would listen this far into the episode.
No, they wouldn't. Some hater from Let's Run who's obsessed with me is listening this far.
Hate listening, yeah.
But no, I honestly think that's what this is about, because it is kind of about, like, it's about inspiring that next generation. It's about enabling people to see greatness in themselves and then use that. And I really hope, like, I want people to be excited to watch me race and for people to know, like, I don't know, at the end of the day, I love putting on a good show. I know I'm not the fastest out there. I know I'm not going to win everything, but like, I want people, when they hear Molly Seidel is racing, they're going to be like, that's going to be a good time.